forward into this inspiring event, we have the distinct privilege of welcoming our guest speaker to the microphone. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Olalekan Oluwayomi. Mr. Oluwayomi is an entrepreneur, author, and international speaker dedicated to bridging strategy with execution in sectors driven by passion for human impact. He founded the Allen Foundation in honor of his late brother to empower him. They used to live purposeful lives. He continues to mentor and build initiatives that help the potential and live bold. We are so incredibly honored to welcome his wisdom and insight and encouragement into this space tonight. Participants and guests, please put your hands together and show some immense
I'll prefer to use this microphone because I'm a youth and I'm going to bring in some youthful energy into the room. Alright, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that. Thank you. Starting on the existing protocols, I'd like to begin first by acknowledging and thanking the Council of African Professionals for creating this platform. Thank you for the opportunity. Of course, I also like to recognize our distinguished guest, the longest serving mayor. Thank you. Deputy Minister, so thank you. All the community leaders, professionals, elders, the youth, volunteers, thank you everybody. And of course, my dear family, my parents, and my sisters, and everybody within my team that are here with me today. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I think I have a limited time, so I'm going to be very quick with that. Before I begin, I would like everybody to just please rise up a little bit. Everybody please just get up on your feet for 1 minute. Just 1 minute. I just have a few questions for everybody. How many of you noticed a red car, particularly a red Mercedes Benz car when we come into this auditorium today? If you noticed a red vehicle, let me just see your show of hands. Alright, sure. I was expecting that. Then the next question is, how many of you actually noticed all of the opportunities that you missed this week? If you know you missed an opportunity this week, thank you. You missed an opportunity, okay? You missed an opportunity. I see someone at the back. Thank you. Alright, that tells us something, right? That we actually do not see whatever it is that we are not looking for. And before we can actually shape Africa's future, we need to see possibilities. And that's what my speech is going to be about today. Thank you, Mr. Lucy. Seeing possibilities. When Lady Alba invited me for this event, and she just told me about it, I said, okay, sure. And then when I saw the flyer and discovered I was going to be speaking alongside the Deputy Minister, I was like, the Dama is trying to set me up. She already said everything, but thank you so much for that fantastic speech. I think that's enough food for thought for today. But one of my mentors, Dr. Sam Adeyemi, always tell me that whenever you find yourself in this situation, the secret is just to tell a couple of stories, and then people will not remember every formal or not. So I'm just going to be telling us a couple of stories, and then I'll be out of your faces. So, very quick, as I was preparing for this event, the theme is leading beyond borders, shaping Africa's future, voice by voice. I thought about it, and what came to my mind was jollof rice, right? How many of us know jollof rice, of course? Jollof rice is one of the biggest, the most very popular staple food in Africa. I'm from Nigeria, so Nigeria has the best jollof, right? We can all agree to that. But there are 3 key ingredients that you need to make jollof rice. 3 key ingredients. Without those ingredients, you can never make any jollof rice, whether it's going to be nice or not. First, of course, you need the rice, then you need your water, and then you need the pot, right? And so as I was thinking about how can we shape Africa's future, how can we lead voice by voice, then 3 key ingredients came to my mind. The first one is mindset, the power of the mind. The second one is belief, the power of belief. And the third one, she already helped me pitch the message for the third one, which is voice, the power of your voice. be starting with very quickly with the mindset. I'm just going to start with a quote by Henry Ford that says, whether you think you can or you think you cannot, you're right. Whether you think you can or you think you cannot, you're right. And I heard of the story of two brothers, two twin brothers actually. They have quite not so good story because they were born in a family where the parents were abusive. You know, the dad was an alcoholic, the mom was, you know, not a very background that you want kids to be born from. But something great will happen because after 35 years, two of them lived completely different lives. Twin A grew up to become just exactly like the dad. He was homeless, you know, he was abusive, he was alcoholic. And then of course the other twin B in this particular time grew up to become in the community, he's living a very successful life. Everything was good. And then this young man went up and interviewed both of them and asked the first one, twin A, and said, "Hey man, what's up? Why are you living like this?" And then his response, pay attention to his response. He said, "I grew up in an abusive home. What do you expect?" Well, took it back, and then went to the other twin B, and said, "Mr. B, you're very successful. I know you have the same background with your brother. What's the secret? How did you do this?" And then twin B said the same thing, exactly the same thing. He said, "I grew up in an abusive home. What do you expect?" Right? That tells us that we don't see life as it is, we see life as we are. That tells us something that every future is created twice. First, in the mind, and then in reality. And to every youth here, every young person like myself, my question to you is, how do you see Africa? Thank you for all the essays. I've learned so many good lessons there. But the question is, how do you see Africa? And much more important than that question is, how do you see yourself? I do not expect you to answer me, just write it down. How do you see yourself? The second one I will talk about is belief, the power of belief. This particular one is very, very interesting to me, and I'm going to tell us again a short story. And I won't really dwell much on this story because I have my parents here, and I don't want to have to consult them when they go back home. In 2019, something happened to me. Somebody will say Nigeria happened to me. I lost my only brother in a car accident. It was more like my twin brother. Very close, very vibrant. I was doing his MBA in Lagos Business School. And then on his way back from that event, Nigeria happened to him. You know, he was involved in a motor crash, and then he was in coma for 3 days, and then he lost him. That moment could have actually broken me. In fact, it broke me, shattered into pieces. I questioned my faith. I questioned everything that I had. I almost lost everything. But again, that moment taught me something very important, that life can actually break you, or it can build you. And for me, I made life build me. I stopped doubting myself. I stopped questioning my purpose. I knew for a fact that I was chosen because I was supposed to be in that car. I changed my mind just 10 minutes before that event. We were supposed to be in that vehicle together. And I said, "You know what, bro, just go." And then the last thing he said to me was, "I'll meet you at home." And something I knew. So I chose belief, and that tells me something, that you cannot become what you refuse to believe is possible. You can only live if you don't see a possibility in Africa. I'm going to tell us a very short story again to reiterate my example. Is a story of a very short company. This big company they had a big project. They wanted to expand their line of business, and this was a very big project for them to take on. So they made advertisements for builders to bid for this project. And well, of course, because of the size of the project, a lot of big companies chickened out. Nobody really bid for this project. And then there was this group of small companies, just about 3 or 4 of them. The founder, the co-founder, the marketing lead, the operations lead. And then they saw the advert, and then they sat among themselves and said, "Can we do this project?" And I said, "Yes, we can." And they believe we can actually do this project. They went to their drawing board, did all of the mathematics, and then they submitted their bid. And out of my 50 applications, it was shortlisted down to 3. And then when the final 3 applications came to the table of the president of this company that was making this advertisement for the bid, he saw this company and he laughed. And then that was actually what, out of curiosity, like, oh, these guys, how can you be, wanting to bid for this project, such a large project? And then they called them and then, what they told me actually inspired me. They said, I believe that we can actually execute this project. And we decided to give them the opportunity. And, you know how the story ended. They delivered successfully, and then that lifted them up. And then, so that's going to make me ask one question. Do you believe in yourself? I believe in myself after I lost my brother, and then one of the outcomes of believing in myself is this book. Last month I released my very first book, titled Faith, Attitude, and Relationships. I call it the code to becoming who you were born to be. Because those are the 3 ingredients that you need to become who you want to be. It's a book about belief and so many other inspiring stories. I also started the Island Foundation, the legacy of my brother. That foundation today has helped thousands of people in Africa. It's 9 years old today. I lost my brother 7 years ago, but we started the foundation 9 years ago. We named it after him, and right now we are officially registered in Canada. We are starting, in fact, coming this towards the end of this year. We're going to start our first project in Canada, and we have done so many other projects in Canada. Because of one thing, belief. I believe that we can actually do that. Thirdly, it's going to be your voice. The power of your voice. Deputy Minister, gracefully touched on that the other time when she said, you never know the power of your voice. You never know the power of your voice. Indeed, you never know the power of your voice. And when I was thinking about this topic, I was like, what's the power of your voice? What's your voice? Is it really the sound of speech? Is it even what I'm saying? No, I disagree with that. I beg to tell you that your voice is your ideas. Your voice is your influence, your voice is your leadership, and your voice is your contribution to society. The Disciples' voice has helped in creating this part of the Council of African Professionals. The Deputy Minister's voice has helped in shaping and influence today in the community. And my question for every youth like myself, and I'm asking myself today is, what dream have you stopped speaking about? What gift has Africa given to you? We are not born out of Africa by mistake. We are destined. And what gift are you willing to give back? Silence is not always humility. Sometimes it's surrender. And if you never speak your dream, the world assumes that you don't have one. So, speak your dream everywhere you get to. I tell my story, not out of pity, but how of confidence. Even when my voice is shaking, I'm telling my story. Even when I don't know exactly how the future holds, I will speak, I will tell my story. Even when nobody applauds. Thank you, you can do better. Thank you. I will speak possibility, I will speak hope, and I will speak solutions. So speak vision, because Africa needs more builders than critics. And I'm going to conclude with this. That your background will shape your story, but it does not get to write your story. So, like she said, dream bigger, believe bigger, speak bigger, much more important than being bigger, and help us shape Africa's future voice by voice.